Have you ever wondered what happens in a narcissist's mind when you simply disappear? Studies show that about 6% of the world's population exhibits clinical traits of pathological narcissism, and these people do not handle silence well. For them, being ignored is like an open wound, throbbing with shame, anger, and fear of losing control. Today, we are going to reveal what few dare to say: the dark counterattack a narcissist plans. When you dare to stop playing their game, and more importantly, how to emotionally protect yourself so you don't fall into the traps they set. If you have ever suffered from silent manipulation, emotional blackmail, and that suffocating fear of being punished for wanting peace, this video is for you. Before we start, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs this strength. Your support helps this message reach more women who need to awaken. Take a deep breath. Prepare your heart, because what you're about to hear today might change everything. Imagine a spoiled child, used to be in the center of attention. Now imagine that this child grew up, but inside, the same irrational desperation to be seen, admired, desired still lives. This is the narcissist facing your silence. When you disappear, they don't just see absence. They feel the worst threat their ego can endure: invisibility. Psychologically speaking, the narcissist suffers from an extreme dependence on what we call narcissistic supply. They constantly need validation, drama, attention, and emotions from you to feel real and powerful. When you go silent, you cut off the fuel feeding their false self. And believe me, without fuel, the narcissist collapses internally. They cannot stand feeling they have lost control over you, facing their own emptiness, or realizing that maybe you are better off without them. The absence of reaction is a death sentence to the narcissist's ego, which is why silence is not just ignored, it is punished. A narcissist's brain reacts to being disregarded the same way an addict's brain reacts to withdrawal, with desperation, rage, and impulsive actions. You didn't just take something from them, you threatened the illusion of grandiosity they built. Now, you begin to understand. Silence is the most powerful weapon against a narcissist, but it's also the trigger that sets off the mental game that is coming. At first, the narcissist doesn't immediately panic. They test you. They need to confirm whether you truly dared to step out of the cycle, or if you are still within their grasp. The first reactions are usually subtle, almost invisible to an untrained eye: innocent messages, likes on old posts, casual appearances in places you frequent, friends sending indirect messages. These are what we call emotional bait tests. The goal is to provoke a minimal emotional response in you: doubt, curiosity, anger. Any reaction is enough to reassure them that you are still under their control. If you respond, poke, justify, they smile internally. You are back in the game without even realizing it. Now, if you continue your silence, the narcissist starts to become frustrated. They don't understand how you, someone they trained to seek approval, are now ignoring the main piece of the board themselves. The narcissist ties your reaction to their own sense of worth. When you ignore them, they feel on a deep level that they have been erased, and that is unbearable for their ego. When the narcissist realizes that subtle strategies have failed, the mask begins to slip. They enter the counterattack phase. What was once disguised as concern or longing now turns into aggressive messages. Public humiliation attempts, direct provocations, and emotional blackmail. At this moment, you see what was once hidden: the true face of narcissistic rage. Because the narcissist feels they lost the object that validated their false self, and to maintain their image of superiority, they need to reduce and emotionally destroy you. It's a primitive defense mechanism. If they can't control you, they try to destroy your perception of yourself. In the myth of Narcissus, he falls in love with his own reflection. When the reflection breaks, he goes mad. You were the reflection the narcissist admired until you stepped away. Now, they fight to restore the illusion, even if it means destroying the one who dared to break the mirror. When the narcissist's mask falls and the counterattack begins, they use subtle, dirty, and destructive mind games: gaslighting, distorting reality, making you doubt yourself; triangulation, involving third parties to create jealousy and insecurity; smear campaigns, spreading lies to isolate you; direct and indirect provocations, small pokes to disrupt your peace. These games are not random. They are rehearsed, refined over the narcissist's lifetime, and coldly applied to regain emotional control over you. Recognizing these patterns is your first defense. If the mental games don't work, the narcissist escalates to something even darker: emotional traps, poisoned guilt, making you feel responsible for their pain; re-idealization cycle, suddenly acting charming, again to reactivate your emotional bond; fear and veiled threats, inducing panic and paralyzing you emotionally.
blame, reversal, and public shaming, accusing you of being the abuser. These traps attack your identity, not just your actions. And they are dangerous because they try to make you believe that you are incapable of living without them. Now that you understand the game, how do you protect yourself? First, establish no contact and maintain it without guilt. Second, prepare your mind for retaliation without interpreting it as a sign of love. Third, strengthen your support system. Connection heals. Fourth, anchor yourself in your reality by recording events and feelings. Fifth, invest in rebuilding your identity, reconnecting with who you were before the manipulation. You don't just survive, you're reborn. When you maintain silence, uphold no contact, and rebuild your identity, something extraordinary happens. The power the narcissist had over you begins to crumble. They lose their supply, they start seeking new victims, but they carry the mark of your victory. Their mask begins to fall for others too. And most importantly, you reclaim the role of the protagonist in your own life. You realize how much you were manipulated, how much you are worth, and how much you deserve freedom. The pain you feel now is the construction of the free woman you are becoming. You are not what they tried to make you believe. You are much bigger than the pain you lived. Every step away from them is a silent revolution toward your true freedom. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Subscribe to the channel.